We start this run at the beginning of chapter 2 or the end of chapter 1, because this is New Game Plus casual or easy difficulty, and the community collectively agreed on this. So, let's go. Beginning of chapter 2, we skip the cutscene. You can just hold here. And yeah, welcome everybody. I got this run the other day, an offline PB, and I thought I would use this for post commentary to explain everything that's going on. So here we just crouch punch or melee spam, which we can only do in New Game Plus, because on a New Game run we don't have any weapons here.
Are we awake?
Is everyone else all right? The city.
Whatever are you talking about? You are the only soul here. Right now.
As we gain control over Seb again, just aim and do 2 punches until you get dialogue, which means the game progresses to its events. This is just very scripted here, so I just fool around. I switch to the harpoon bolt because I need it at the beginning of chapter 3. This is all mandatory here. Access the typewriter, that we can just progress and get out of the safe haven, the mental hospital. So again, just the punch movement or the melee crouch punch, but more to that later on in the game. Just don't have full control over Sebastian here, and that's the fastest way to move forward. Yeah, I'm just mashing here, access the upgrade chair, or as we call it in the community, the pain drone, because Sebastian has a fun pain face here, as you noticed. Just mashing A here to do the mandatory first unlock. Once that is done, I'm holding C on my keyboard because the next cutscene skip has to be timed. You can't just hold it for whatever reason on the controller, but if you hold C on the keyboard, you can see the mini thing in the right corner for the bar that moves for the cutscene skip disappears. It gets basically pre-buffered, and it's just, yeah, it turns into a whole cutscene skip. Okay, we have full control over Sebastian now, and an almost 100% maxed out New Game Plus file. Shoutouts to the maximum stamina bar here, it's so much better than New Game. So anyways, why do I say not fully upgraded New Game Plus file? Simply because of the reload speed for the handgun and the Magnum, for the single-handed reload glitch, but more on that later on. You can find my New Game Plus file for the Steam version in the description, by the way. So for this cutscene skip, we can just hold on the controller, as you could see on my input display. So this is just progression to the Connolly cutscene. The reference to the first zombie in the very, very first Resident Evil game, because this game is also made by Shinji Mikami, the true master of survival horror.
Whoa. Were you warning me about this? You are Leslie, right? I'm a police officer. Maybe I should help you.
Should help you.
Shit. How am I gonna get you to a hospital?
Hospital. Hospital!
What the fuck?
Okay, just crouch underneath the tripwire, and we don't need to disarm it because we don't need the trap part, it's New Game Plus. And the first zip or launch is coming up. The glitch I found in this game a while ago, and it breaks the run and makes the run way shorter and faster. It's similar to the ledge hopping in Doom Eternal, because similar engine, just a predecessor. So anyways, we pass the rock here and line myself up here on this ledge and hop over the hut here, skip the cutscene. It also avoids the trigger for the transform cutscene, but we launch over it. So here is a first flag we have to hit after the gate here. And I used this wooden wheel here, the ledge of the wooden wheel, the height difference. And out of the crouch animation, just go out of the crouch. It's a timing thing and an angle thing. And the weapon wheel also expands the glitch. It's very complex, but you will see a lot of uses of it during the run. Fortunately, I got grabbed here by this enemy. So I performed the gate skip here. It got a bit janky here. And yeah, I just rolled with it because it's the beginning. I lost track of where I am for a moment. I have to hit this trigger here. Pay attention to the audio cue and the checkpoint. You have to hit this flag here for the chapter end to be loaded. So we can just use the launch glitch as we want and launch ourselves through the game because it's a very linear game and we have to keep the laws of the flags and the checkpoints and certain triggers in line for progression. And that was chapter 2. So I want to quickly go back to the zip glitch, the launch glitch, how it works. You need the height difference and you crouch Sebastian at a preferred angle for speed and height. And you go back and out of the crouch and you slip over it and I flick my stick forward as you can see on my input display. It's the overlap that causes this massive gain in speed. See the height difference as a ramp and the momentum out of the crouch animation. And never press sprint because sprint overrides it. So the beginning of chapter 3 here, again, we have to aim walk for a while, shoot the grate just for fun, 2 punches, use the harpoon ball to skip the match drop. Unfortunately, I didn't hit the right body with the first one, so I needed a second one. And here you see why we use the LRT timing method. I hit the checkpoint, I reload the autosave. The LRT pauses like in the RE4 remake for example, but the in-game time, as you can see, just reverses back. That is why for in-game time runs it's banned. So I have to kill 3 haunted here for the next checkpoint to load. And I zip myself through the gate to skip the Dr. Jimenez cutscene. And the death of the 3 haunted gives me the checkpoint. And I reload the checkpoint. So I'm past the Jimenez cutscene now and I can fight the sadist. Otherwise, chapter 3 and the sadist wouldn't be fully loaded. So I progress to the sadist, I switch to the magnum. 1 magnum shot to smash the barrier, 2 in the sadist. And the flame bolt gives him the final blow and breaks him out of the animation and kills him as fast as possible. Gives me the checkpoint, I reload the checkpoint. By the way, if you're on the Steam version, you don't have the Fighting Chance pack and you don't want to burn money on a key, just use the link in the description for the unlocker. Shoutouts to the speedrun community. So after this checkpoint, the chainsaw is conveniently placed in front of Sebastian and I can just progress to the chain. Because we have to do this cutscene here. You also notice it's a bit reversed here, or it's actually reversed. The gate never closes because it closes in the Jimenez cutscene, but we skipped it, so it's reversed here. It actually drops down. It's a bit funny, and the Doctor and Sebastian just walk through. But again, we have to watch it. We can't just progress through, otherwise there is a, I don't know, 2D version of chapter 4 and no chapter end screen.
Yes. Leslie was being treated here years ago. He'd come here thinking it was familiar and safe.
You know where we are.
Okay, we have control over Sebastian again, but not full control because this is a walk and talk segment, modern gaming. So what I'm doing here, I'm chaining punches, or more specifically crouch punches. As you can see on my input display, I tap crouch once. It makes it so that I can chain the punches faster and the duration of each punch gets a bit faster and more tight. So we don't have to visit the doctor's brother, by the way, so just shoot the window, go down here. So the first invisible enemy or invisible haunted is coming up, which I use an explosive bolt for to set up a spawn kill. Notice how the dialogue overlaps, because we get a bit ahead of the game. It's pretty funny. So you can use a flame bolt on him It's theoretically faster, it can be faster, but it can also be really, really slower, because if you get the Burning Man animation where he just keeps running and running and running, the game doesn't recognize that he's dead until he drops dead again, so the explosive bolt is just 100% consistent in terms of speed. From here on, it's crouch punches until we reach the door. For this cutscene, we have to hold C again, because you have to time it again. So yeah, just sprint towards Ruvik, and we are in walk and talk state again, so just crouch punches, hold aim at the pistol, tap punch and tap crouch and just chain them. It's the fastest way to move forward. Once we trigger this, we get this checkpoint for the blood room, reload it. Once we're in the blood room, you can see how combat levers work in the game. I can shoot the lever to drain the room. I pre-place 2 flame bolts to kill the waves. Climb over here, reload my sniper rifle. Wait for the enemies to spawn in. You cannot skip this cutscene, or you cannot launch over to the door. You can actually launch yourself over the door and skip the cutscene, but you can't open the door. So I sniped the 2 enemies here on the side. The big guy, the lady. Sometimes they move a bit randomly because it's casual difficulty AI, so I have to clear the room with the guns. Once the eye disappears and the audio cue is coming up, I know all enemies are dead. I use this downtime here to craft flame bolts and heal myself. I use the reload glitch here to skip the door kick. Here is another short walk and talk speed segment, so I just chain crouch punches. The first Laura encounter is coming up. Crouch in here. Shoot her with the magnum to despawn her. Unfortunately I missed the shot. Here on the doorstep I perform a zip or weapon wheel launch to preserve stamina and make it a bit faster. And this is just sprinting here. Here the game does a weird thing with the lantern, so I have to turn it on again. Pre-aim to the trap. Unfortunately the bullet missed, so yeah, I just keep moving forward. Shoot the second one and make my way into the elevator. So if you have questions about the reload glitch now, I don't blame you, so I want to talk about it here real quick because we have downtime. So how it works is you tap reload and tap the action button right afterwards, but it's important that you don't have any directional or forward input at the same time. So think of it as the OG Ditman glitch in the OG RE4 game. It's a quick 2-button input on your controller. It's the overlap within. It's all about the overlaps in this game.
I made it. I can't believe it.
So here it's a massive downtime segment again. You can actually leave the structure here by zipping or launching, but you cannot get to the chapter ending screen, so it's actually useless. So we just have to wait for Ruvik here. And back to the reload glitch real quick. You will see more and better instances and slower instances of it later on levers and valves and when I pick up other things. Alright, chapter 4 is almost done, and I want to talk about the beginning of chapter 5 here because I still see a lot of new players and people struggle with it and don't understand it. It's all about the pre-inputs on the loading screen to offset the trigger for the invisible haunted. Pay attention to my input display, how I tap sprint and work my analog sticks. To offset the trigger for the invisible haunted is right at the chapter beginning, so we basically bonk it in speedrun terms, so we can attack him, and you can plus just use a brass knuckle punch. On new game you can just perform a stealth kill on him because his hitbox is loaded, but his AI is not fully there. So anyways, let's progress to the key card. Sebastian hesitated here a bit. Crouch punch through the barrier. Crouch punch gets used a lot in this game. You will see it more and more later on. So block the first invisible haunted with the card, and the second one I just avoid. I used the sniper rifle double-handed reload animation to pick up the keycard faster, because I skipped the animation, because both of his hands are busy. All this stuff works because Sebastian is motion captured, by the way, launching reload glitches, you name it, because it's an AGDQ 5 game, which is actually a first-person engine, but they did the work to motion capture the character to make a third-person game in it. So anyways, I'm using the keycard here, and in the downtime I switch to the grenade and craft the bolt real quick. Here is another walk and talk segment with Rubik. Unfortunately, I threw the grenade on accident, but yeah, funny. And here on the doorstep or stairs, beginning of the stairs, I perform a hop or I don't know, an ollie in a skateboarding sense to just make it down to the door faster. Here we have to wait for the puzzles to pop in. And I use the grenade to bump myself out again in the waiting segments of the buttons, and I take damage and the door stays open and I can exit immediately without waiting. Unfortunately, I messed up here on the second one because I got too greedy on the throw and the grenade bounced off a bit unluckily, which is also a 60 FPS thing compared to 30 FPS because physics are accelerated. It's all frame rate bound. What I also want you to know here is pay attention when I get bumped by the grenade or damaged by the grenade and or Sebastian is on the floor, how I hold crouch and get out of the get up animation way sooner, and I transition into a crouch and I almost skip half of the animation. That's another cool thing about the depth and the mechanics of this game, and again this works because Sebastian is motion captured. Also here for the slow doors, wiggle the camera, you break out of the door opening way sooner, and for this cutscene skip it's another hold C cutscene skip to be as optimal and fast as possible, because otherwise we would have to time it. My lantern is off here for a reason, so I can heal Joseph immediately, just enough that he can move. So we skip the horde by just dealing with the lady. Unfortunately I got hitbox trolled. Shot the bed. She turned, unfortunate here, hit with the third bullet, and I pick up this bottle here. I need the bottle for a launch for the ladder skip. This is a no physics bottle. What does no physics bottle mean in this game? This is a bottle that has, again, that has collision. It doesn't roll around when you touch it or when you sprint over it. Same counts for enemies. And when you drop it, it's always standing. And you can always use it as a launch spot, or again as a ramp, if you will. So we can't skip this cutscene here, by the way, in any ways. So this is just a waiting game here for Joseph to disarm the bombs on the door. Do his magic, because he's so smart, haha. Patch him up fully. Trigger this cutscene. Technically you can skip it by hopping over, but then the tank fight is not loaded. This cutscene skip is just a hold B cutscene skip, we don't have to use C. And here, the bottle comes in play. Unfortunately, I messed it up a bit. My setup here, I placed it a bit too far away from the ladder. I noticed it a bit late, so yeah, I just kept rolling with it for practice a bit closer. Early weapon wheel, but this wasn't a good launch, but I rolled with it because I also burned time beforehand, but it's still cool and a nice speed technique. So the Kidman tank fight starts. It begins with a cutscene skip. I just hold B, as you can see on my controller. And this fight is wave based and again kill count based. So I use an explosive bolt for these two enemies here. This triggers the first wave here. Use another explosive bolt to kill them. Switch to the flame bolt to kill this wave and use the guns for the last two enemies. This guy trolled, I didn't find him. He was hiding behind the tank, so the dynamite guy spawns in. Missed with the greed shot. And I pre-bolt the two dynamite guys. So I just craft bolts. I place a flame bolt here on this concrete because this spot here at the door is busted because of height. Height is really busted in this game, height detection, etc. So the concrete placement is consistent. Here I place one at the doorstep. These are just spawn kills, so I wait for the wave now to come in. Once the enemies get burned, I run over to this door. So the dynamite guy spawns in the room where the flame bolt is active and also spawn kills him. Because the game always spawns the dynamite guy at the opposite to Sebastian, never close to Sebastian. It always does the vice versa thing. So yeah, this wave comes in, the flame bolt takes care of the first 3, snipe the big boy, and I perform a launch here from the leg of the table up to the wheels or the dials. Unfortunately, because I was up so early, the game got confused and spawned the dynamite guy actually here and not on the other side where I pre-bolted it. So yeah, just a bit of downtime here. But yeah, you have a generous window for the zip here for the prison cell skip. You have to wait until Joseph says you have to check out the dials. If you trigger the dials before that, you're locked out of progression and this pit is not loaded. So don't get too far ahead of the game. And I did a quick fall down here, again by tapping crouch and letting go of the control stick. It's all about the overlaps in this game. Okay, you can ignore the guy on the left and the guy that is coming towards you. These are 2 scripted enemies. They're not kicking in immediately, so you can just avoid them at any difficulty. Hop down here. Use free aim in the deep water to override the slow walking speed. It comes back later on in the game. So for the next area we have to kill 5 enemies in total. I use the sniper rifle and 2 hanging ones. I freeze the big boy and his partner to the right. Use the sniper rifle on the left one. Joseph shoot the thin one. I shot the big boy with the pistol and the room's cleared. What I want to mention here is you might have noticed that the freeze bolt went off immediately. That's a sub-mechanic of the freeze bolt. All bolts have sub-mechanics in the game. So if the freeze bolt hits a wet surface like a water puddle or a puddle in a cave, it goes off immediately. Instead of taking this, I don't know, 1 second to pop off, it pops off immediately. Sorry for the clap.
Let's get going.
We should go.
I'm glad you're both all right.
It's odd, though. Why would they catch you instead of just killing you?
Maybe he didn't see me as a threat.
He.
Okay, once we're in this area, you can either reload the checkpoint or do crouch punches until you pass the barrel. I just prefer to keep playing here. So another crouch punch to avoid the trap. Flash bolt to flash these 2 haunted. Progress to Laura. Aim walk just for movement optimization. The trap doesn't snap you. 1 brass knuckle punch. 1 shot with the magnum. She despawns. It's just faster. To progress, we don't have to burn her on New Game Plus. Notice how I crouch, because out of the crouch you can sprint immediately. Otherwise Sebastian takes a moment to acquire speed or to accelerate. Crouch punch, unfortunately I missed 2 shots and she's dead. So again, this out of the crouch sprinting is another death, if you will, of controlling Sebastian because of the motion capture. Reload glitch at the gate or at the door. Launch at the beginning of the stairs to the next door, and we're in the tub room. And it's just waiting for this cutscene to play out.
Cites developmental delays, indicates issues of communication, social cognition, repetitive behaviors, signs of synesthesia reported. Genealogy suggests increased susceptibility to external stimuli, pattern adaptiveness. Could you be what I've been searching for all these years? And under my own nose? mistake. This one is compatible.
What in the hell?
So the shock bolt is your friend to deal with the 3 haunted in the 2 top rooms in the game, on all difficulties. I suggest you to place it after the checkpoint, because if you die on this room, especially in AKUMU, you respawn with the shock bolt still in your pocket. So on casual difficulty, you sprint around to bait them, because they are slow. And unfortunately the third one didn't get shocked, so I have to shoot him down and unplug him, and chapter 5 is done.
Has something startled you?
Did they do something to my head?
You don't look well. You should take better care of yourself.
Photographs? A church.
So we have control over Seb for a short amount of time. Just kick open this door.
What was that sound?
This next door is another slow door, so wiggle the camera again to break out sooner, to sprint away sooner. I punch here just to get placed or stopped a bit further into the hallway. But this is just waiting here. We cannot skip any of this. But launch or weapon wheel launch, weapon wheel sip is coming up at the beginning of the stairs again. Fortunately, this gate here, the upper gate, has no collision, so I don't have to wait for the cursed door or the spooky door to open. So I can just meet the keeper faster. It saves around 5 seconds if done like this. I just make my way to Leslie and get warped to chapter 6.
Leslie?
Sebastian? Sebastian? Sebastian?
Once I gain control over Seb, I hold A to pre-buffer or input buffer the climbs to get over the obstacles cleaner, get over the stairs or up the stairs, just progress my way into this beautiful area of chapter 6. I just love this view, I still love it. Every run I still get goosebumps here about the feeling, you know, how this moment, how the game captures it, it's just so amazing. I can't get enough of it, even to this day, man. 10 years after release. So get in here, perform a launch into the yard, because cabin skip is coming up. Launch myself all the way into the yard. Now things get a bit really broken. So I have to jump into the window here, just can't climb into it, because the game doesn't let me. I have to hit this trigger here, this loading point here, for the turret area to load in, because the game has to believe we play it normally. So here I perform another launch, not too sharp of an angle, because I don't want to overshoot it. I already went too far, but I can back it up. But I have to run around here because there is an invisible wall, unfortunately, so it costs a few seconds. But if you land here, don't worry, just run around the whole area here. It's just so beautiful. Jump down here. I have the flame bolt pre-selected. Hit the checkpoint. Reload the checkpoint. And we skipped so much of chapter 6 already. Time to deal with the 4 containers. But first I place a flame bolt at the lever so the wave gets roasted. So we need the flash bolt here. Wait for this container to open up. This aim at the wheel or at the gear wheel is a bit precise, that the 2 left containers go down. Wait until it opens up again, hit the right wheel to destroy the right container and shoot another one into the center container to destroy all 4. Quickly craft the flashball to fill it up again and bind the rocket launcher because I also need it later. And the rocket launcher is a one-hit kill on the sadist. He's down, reload the rocket launcher. Notice how I broke out of the rocket launcher animation. This is also a thing in the game when reloading. As soon as the number changes in the HUD, you can switch weapon because then it's already reloaded. You don't have to fully wait out the animation. Use a harpoon bolt on the body again. Unfortunately I was too greedy and missed the first one. Doesn't matter that much because I have to wait for Joseph anyways. I want to place a shock bolt on him. Just fool around here, doesn't matter. See, we have to wait. Go back to Joseph here when he enters. It triggers the transition a bit cleaner and earlier. I place the shock bolt on him to deal with the 2 guys that carry him. I need a freeze bolt for the body bag that hangs there because I need it to be gone for the next launch. Place it, it drops down. Switch to the flash bolt. If I have to reload, I can deal with the carrying enemies with just a flash bolt. So yeah, this is just a waiting game here again. And walk and talk. Crouch punching to the next cutscene. Normal chapter 6 stuff, if you will. The shock bolt kills the 2 guys immediately. These 2 guys are 1 HP enemies, by the way, so also a pistol bullet or a pistol shot deals with them on New Game AKUMU 2. So I use the spot here to completely launch over the whole broken structure thing here into the marketplace. Unfortunately I went a bit too much, but it's not a big deal. If I would have shot myself out of bounds, I would have to reload and I would have the flash bolt immediately to flash the 2 dudes again because the shock bolt would have been gone. Yeah. Anyways, I have to go back here. Here's the trigger to load the next area. The progression check, if you will. So yeah, we have to make the game think we play it normally. I launch over here. I'm out of bounds. I can just skip the whole cutscene, the slow door opening, the whole walk and talk. I just run straight to the end of the walk and talk, hold B to skip the cutscene, and we are at the graveyard area. If you do this, be careful, don't sprint right away, otherwise you fall through the floor. You have to wait until it pops in. Also Joseph, for some reason here, stands on the bridge. He decided to take the bridge to the dog. I don't know why, I don't know how, it's awesome. Hold B, skip the cutscene. Switch to the pistol here. You can reload the checkpoint here if you want. I just don't want to. I want to play the game. 2 crouch punches. Trigger this cutscene. Nothing special here. Again, slow walk here. This is the only place where you can't use free aim to gain more speed. The speed here is hardwired, but if you go on the rocks here, you can sprint. Quickly switch to the rocket launcher again to deal with the first twin. 1 hit kill again. But the rocket launcher is not a silver bullet in this game like in RE4 for example. It deals 1 point times the damage of a fully upgraded Magnum. So it doesn't kill every boss in 1 rocket. Reload it, wait for the second twin, shoot him. Didn't reload the rocket launcher here because I don't need it anymore. Just wait for the cutscene to play out. I pick up these sniper rounds here because it doesn't take time and it's better to have them than to not have them. Make my way back to Joseph, to the tomb we have to enter. I shoot this crate and pick up the handgun bullets for two reasons. It prepares my reload glitch because I miss a bullet in the clip so I can reload, and my handgun ammo is full again. So it's optimal in every way. And we just watch some cutscenes here, or the cutscene here. We get warped back into the safe haven. It's actually story thing here, because if you check the table where we spawn at the beginning of the chapter, the keeper head is gone, which symbolizes or stands for the keeper in the basement, and the pictures here change, the photos change, and you can upgrade or use keys on a new game run. But we don't do that in New Game Plus. We use this mirror here to go right back to Joseph. We're back in the tomb.
Are you alright?
You don't need to worry about me.
So this room is actually very complex. So reload glitch on the first lever here. Notice how Sebastian gets phased into the lever and the lever clicks immediately. It's the reload glitch, it's the overlap within. It's not necessary to perform the reload glitch on the second and the third lever. This also sets up the quote-unquote Joseph skip, as I called it, and I pioneered it. So we control the dialogue here, we make Joseph question Sebastian's movement, and we are so early at the cage or at the elevator that we avoid Joseph talking more, and so Joseph immediately runs to the elevator. It saves about 10 to 15 seconds, depends on execution. But the reload glitch on the first lever just makes it free. And Joseph has a nice skateboard or surfboard here. It's just so cool. So yeah, this is just progression to the final boss fight of the chapter. The Sentinel boss fight. This is a really cool area here. I love the tomb. It's just so well made. So going back here, waiting for Joseph is actually faster, because again then he doesn't stop in this room, he follows us immediately, saves a few seconds. It's all about controlling Joseph here in the tomb. Waiting for him here again. It's just so funny. Him with his board, with the bridge. I loved it yesterday when I did this run, man. I loved so much. Classic Evil Within stuff. So yeah, pre-select the Magnum, get close to the door. Until it gets spooky. I break out of the Zap scare animation by mashing and wiggling my stick. It's so cool with the bridge here. Joseph unlocks it. The dog comes up, or Sentinel comes up, skip the cutscene by holding B. Once we gain control over Zap, the boss or Sentinel always jumps to the right, so pre-aim to the right a bit, aim for his head, one headshot with the upgraded Magnum is enough, pick up the syringe and the free shock bolt in the downtime, put away your weapons to make it through the gap here, just cleaner, otherwise he would have to put away his weapon, all the small things in this game. So one headshot for the dog, again I missed one bullet, reload glitch to pick up the classes faster. When you kill him here at the second phase, you just skip the Joseph throwing the bottle to try to help Sebastian to lure away Sentinel, but if he's dead, this cutscene gets avoided, logically. Joseph is feeling normal again, even though
Let's focus on finding Kidman.
he's Tony Hawk. Sorry. So I tried to perform a launch here on the pot. It's a bit janky, so I didn't get it. So I just sprint towards the church where the chapter end screen is. Got a nice gold split here, still not fully optimal, but sub 14 minutes, sub 50 minutes, chapter 6. Pretty cool. And we're in the church. This is just a waiting segment, but by sprinting to the altar as early as possible and trigger this dialogue of Kidman and Leslie, it makes Joseph sit down a bit earlier. It saves about 2 to 3 seconds. It's the only optimization here. So it's just, or actually one of 2 optimizations here until he sits down. Because when he sits down, I mash A and B at the same time. The B mashing cancels Sebastian, asking if Joseph is alright, and A talks to him.
Hey, Joseph.
See, by canceling Sebastian talking, I can click on Joseph just sooner, again, about 2 seconds sooner or earlier. All these small things also really matter in this game, especially before I found the launching glitch. All these small things really add up to minutes saved. So yeah, this is just progression to the cube room, to the main hub room of this chapter. So just stamina management, get the first tablet. Pretty self-explanatory. Notice how I use free aim on the stairs. It also cancels the Sebastian getting out of breath animation because it overrides it, and it overrides the slow taking each step on the stairs animation, and it just overrides it. It's a different animation. So on stairs it's faster, and every time I'm low on stamina when I do the free aim thing, it's actually not that you move faster, it's a timing thing. I internalize the timing, and I cancel the Sebastian getting out of breath animation. It's just, it's a technique you really have to be good at, or get good at. Alright, the main room is coming up. Chapter 7 is completely busted. First I insert the first tablet to open up the 2 ways, or the 2 paths. Because if I fail the big skip and I have to reload the checkpoint, the doors are already open and I don't have to insert the tablet over and over again, and I have to insert it once anyways. So the grenade skip is coming up, and I failed here big time because my brain wasn't ready for it. I don't know why. When you deal with the launches all the time, you have to switch to a different style of playing. It's really so many different things you have to remember and think about on the fly. So yeah, the OG grenade skip through the cube. Checkpoint's coming up. I reload the checkpoint, and now the doors are open because I inserted the first tablet, and this is imprinted into the checkpoint. So we take the left door. The right door is pretty useless. It's busted here. We are technically out of bounds. This is my setup here. I go to this corner until it's fully black and my dot disappears on the crossbow. And then I have a very safe angle to not overshoot and to land close to this zone here. So this is the route we have to take. Sprint over here, hop down, there is the chapter end. I bomb myself back in bounds. This fortunately works on a single layer of invisible wall, and we ragdoll into the chapter end screen. And that was chapter 7. Alright, chapter 8 is pretty straightforward, or as linear as it gets, so it's just a sprint forward simulator, if you will. So run past these alter egos. I shot him too early, so I didn't break him out, just crouched through. One explosive in the puddle to deal with these 2 guys. And this is just a spam fest here. There is not much to say here, just mash. What I do is put away the lantern and hold sprint during the mashing, so it just can run away after the last cycle sooner You can see the camera, how it follows Sebastian. So yeah, again, this is just sprinting. Once I hit the checkpoint, I reload the checkpoint because my stamina is low and it gives me a free refill. That's all we do here. Just sprint forward. These harpoons are not one-hit kills, as still many people believe so. I just take the hit here. It's faster on casual than just take cover. So for these gaps, put away your weapons and turn on the lantern so he gets in the fastest. And for the movement, spam your stick forward. So Sebastian is in this constant sliding forward animation instead of the back and forth thing. Place a flame bolt on top here. Turn off the lantern, put away your equip, and the flame bolt deals with these alter ego baby spawns. Some nice and toasty spawns. Nothing special here, so I can turn in peace. Switch to the handgun, tap once, so he does the free aim thing. Chain it with a reload to get a faster or longer free aim animation. We can sprint here again. Just sprint past the two alter egos, the one on the floor and the one here. Unfortunately, he decided to go aggressive and turn on my lantern, put away my crossbow, do the tap thing, and you will see the Plaga, quote unquote, coming in, and he can kill you in the crack here. It happened a few times. It's a total Alt F4 moment. So yeah, just sprint forward, jump down here, hold A. It's all a clean transition. Pick this up as late as possible. Insert the clean side, not the bloody side, otherwise we have a sap sandwich. I'm sorry. Anyways, just wait until this plays out. Again, just sprint forward. Here are some stairs. I perform some free aim to do some stamina management. Here I tried to do a freeze bolt breakout on the chair. It's really precise. So you skip this scare animation and sprint right away. But the freeze bolt breakout, as I call it, comes up a lot more often later. It comes up in chapter 9, chapter 10. It breaks Sebastian out of scripted animations. So yeah, just talk to the doctor. Here comes the chase, and you don't have to switch frame rate here. I see a lot of people switch to 30 FPS here, and it's not necessary. Especially if you're on controller. So look at my input display, look at Sebastian. I do a small curve to the left and then back to the center. It blocks the card and he doesn't catch me on the first door. Why this is screwed on 60 FPS is simply due to the card physics, not to the Amalgam Alpha being faster. The problem is the car physics. The car has half the gravity than on 30 FPS, so it can just block you or block the doorway, and then you can't make it in time and he grabs you. So yeah, and this was chapter 8. Okay, chapter 9 starts with a cutscene skip. Also really great chapter, beautiful chapter. Sebastian wakes up in his bed again, in his room, in the safe haven. We don't have any control over Seb here besides crouching. It's a bit faster because he gets a small forward boost. And then we just talk to Tatiana, the nurse. Just a waiting game. Once we click on the door, again, full sprint, turn your camera, you break out sooner. You even phase through the door a bit. Do this first prompt to trigger the first event. Here is a good place also to do upgrades on a new game run because you have downtime here and you can access the chair between the two hold prompts. So yeah, this is just a waiting game. Do the second prompt. It's way less scary without the post-processing. So again we have a Seb scared animation, but if I hold aim and spam around he breaks out sooner, but it's hard to know where you are. Again, slow door, do the camera thing. Transition to the yard of the mansion. This is just fully scripted. You can spam the lantern a bit, but I timed it all. Spamming lantern, spamming crouch, the weird things Sebastian does. It doesn't speed up, it doesn't make you faster, so yeah, just Beautiful scenery here with the sunflower and Ruvik. I really like it, really love it. It never gets old. Breaking out. Run to the main door. The main door has some optimizations. Don't go to the center. Either choose the left side or the right side. I just choose the left side here.
I've seen that house.
Again, he only opens one half of the door, it's faster. And again, the camera wheel thing breaking out. Just entering the mansion sooner. Small optimizations again. All these small optimizations matter.
Did they get here?
Dr. Leslie, I'm so early here. But you can't make it in with them. There is an invisible wall.
Stop, damn it.
And it's time for the brain puzzles. So I take this route here.
Now what?
Go to the left. Make my way to the first brain. I don't have the two guys eating here. You either have them here or upstairs. Do the first brain. The input's are always the same. Just hold down here. Just slightly to the left, to the center line of the two brain halves is enough. Also on AKUMU.
Great. What did I just set in motion?
Turn around.
Is this...
Make your way to the second brain. It's just stamina management. This guy comes in. Do a clean kite to refill my stamina. Cut the corner here. Get up the stairs. Get in left. It's just stamina management. I still didn't find a way to launch up here. Unfortunately, I forgot that I have the rocket launcher still bound. So I rebind my sniper rifle. Use it on this guy. Use the double-handed reload animation again to pick up the dial a bit faster and cleaner. Get down the ladder, spam B to drop down. Now we have the two guys munching here. Just freeze them real quick that they can't perform a meme or some BS moment on me when I have to deal with Ruvik after the second brain puzzle. So here's the scripted trap. Unfortunately the game trolled me again, even though I aimed and shot late, but sometimes the game just decides the dot doesn't work and tries to, yeah, make fun of you, whatever. Classic Evil Within. My way to the second brain. Again, crouch punch into the chimney thing here, just to carry a bit momentum in. And if you do the weapon swap in a specific tempo, you move a bit faster, but it's super tedious. And it saves frames, man, or it saves a second. So yeah, second brain puzzle to the right. I line it up with the one nail in the brain. Always works. Casual, AKUMU, nightmare, doesn't matter. Next checkpoint, turn around, crouch punch in again. What you can do out of the vent here, let's call it vent, is just a precisely timed weapon equip here, so you boost out a bit. Again, this is all working because of the motion capture. I got a delayed spawn here, but it doesn't matter because the clock is still ticking, but the game doesn't load Ruvik for some reason. Now it loaded him. I stopped sprinting here on purpose so he comes through this door. Just for safety reasons and meme insurance. Get in this room here, get the second dial. Time to control Ruvik. He also decided to control or trouble me. He didn't react to the first shot, not to the second shot. So yeah, it's casual difficulty. I have enough distance. He doesn't get me. Go down here to the right. To the third brain. It's just stamina management and avoiding any memes. You have to pick up this node here. Blocks the two wheels. Insert both wheels. And on casual difficulty, this puzzle auto-solves itself. On auto difficulty, it's the top one 11 and the down one is 2. You have to turn it manually, but on casual difficulty, the game auto-solves it for you. Put the needle into the third brain, line it up with the eye roughly. It's also really nice detail. So I had my Ruvik spawn. So I'm gonna reload this checkpoint, or I reloaded this checkpoint just to save a few seconds of having no control over my character. And on casual difficulty, if you reload this checkpoint, there is a big chance that the two guys waiting for you open the door for Sebastian, so you don't have to kick it open. But yeah, decided to not hear me, so I have to kick it, but it's okay. As soon as you see the hold thing on the screen, the door opens up. And here is another freeze bolt breakout coming up. This one I nailed the timing. You get scared, you would have to wait a few seconds, but the freeze bolt does 1% of damage, kicks him out, and you can move forward again. Here we have Rubik.
Slice clean.
This,
all
yeah,
the way.
all scripted.
No cure
Just move
for
forward,
what
trigger the next
we
cutscenes, stamina management until we go to the trap maze, to the tripwire maze. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, stamina is low, free aim on the stairs. Refill my stamina and have faster movement on the stairs. It's enough stamina to open this door again. This is just a cutscene. Fun fact on these flashback weird cutscene things here, the in-game timer actually stops. You can also delete these files and play the game without the files, but yeah. It's just a few seconds, I don't care. I really don't. Personally. So yeah. On my way to this puzzle room here, or this trap room. You can actually perform a weapon wheel zip on the dead dog in the right corner and phase through the the wires, but it's, I don't know, really hard and you can kill yourself easily. So yeah, just take this, hug the left wall, works on all difficulties, and it's finished. We're past it. We get warped to the skull maze. There is a cool launch, so we just move forward, wait until the checkpoint comes up, reload the checkpoint, and now I perform the skull maze skip, as I call it. Unfortunately, I failed the first try, but you notice it already if you have too much speed and can reload immediately. So on this phase here, you have to be really careful to not overshoot it. Unfortunately, I overshot it here because the trigger is not going all the way to the ceiling, the warp trigger. So yeah, I barely had too much speed, like 5% or something. In terms of weapon wheel timing, I hit it too early. This one's really good. See, I almost landed right into the trigger. We are back in Rubik's room here. And here I perform a reload glitch again on the door just to have an overlap transition. It's faster. Mash B to put away the pistol as soon as your stamina is refilled. Make your way into the barn. Weapon swap here out of the stop so I can sprint right away again. And yeah, just deal with this downtime with this cutscene. You can also hold C for all the villagers cutscenes, because otherwise you would have to time them, but C gets you covered, or on the controller you have to internalize the timing. And once this is done, there is the last launch coming up. We skip the wheel and the crank, because I can just use the spot here where Ruvik jumps down and launch myself all the way up to the balcony and trigger the last fight. Saves a good chunk of time. Just have to have a sharp angle. It's really easy, and fortunately the fire doesn't damage you there. It's a really nice spot. Just go to this spot. Zap gains a bit of height here. Sharp angle, early weapon wheel, and you're up there. You can trigger this big red dot man and deal with the last spawns. These are 6 enemies. Unfortunately, on casual difficulty they spawn really slowly. I like this way more on AKUMU and the Nightmare, so I just place flame bolts to spawn kill them, but it's so slow on casual, and the room and the floor is shaking. It's a bit cursed. Unfortunately, it still landed on the hitbox. So yeah, just wait. This is faster on higher difficulties. He does the Burning Man thing, dodge him or kite him. Last one trolled me, didn't get burned, so I just used my pistol. Wanted to grab this harpoon, but I crafted, so I'm full. Cutscene. And chapter 9 is basically done. Chapter 10 is really cool. It's so amazing in the speedrun.
Got to keep your strength up.
My children.
Yeah, just stamina management. Last gap into the bookshelf. Into Ruvik's dungeon. Into his madness we go. Okay, chapter 10 is probably my favorite chapter in the speedrun, so just sprint to the ladder here, mash B to drop down, and short walk and talk segment here for the dialogue between Doctor and Ruvik until this doorway. We can sprint. Here's a small optimization. We can skip the ladder, hold A, and grab on the railing here. Sebastian hops over. And if you hold instead of mashing, he just snaps on, but if you mash he can snap on the ladder. So anyways, these potato sacks here, or sandbags, I use them for a really fast launch and use the geometry, like the pillar here and the cylinder shape of the room. It launches me over here, I'm out of bounds. I hit the trigger here at the pipe for visual cue, so the sewers area, the dungeon area is loaded. Here I perform a zip to land on the ceiling here. So we completely skip the Blades room or the Shadow Temple room of Ocarina of Time. So we progress here on top of the ceiling. Here be careful to not fall down. So I use free aim walk here to just carefully transition over. Climb on top here. Bomb yourself back and bounce again like in chapter 7. Hold crouch again to get out sooner. Drop down, checkpoint hit, reload checkpoint. So it restores power. We need the game to think we did the battery puzzle and stuff, because we need power for the main door to exit the area. So yeah, just turn the crank. We cannot skip this crank. I didn't find a room or a skip for this room so far to get on top of the ceiling again, to get out of bounds, to just skip the mashing. Maybe one day, I hope so, but it's not that much of a big deal. So yeah, we don't have to pull this lever. I found this years ago, just crouch through here. It doesn't work on the PS3 version. And perform a reload glitch again here on this lever, just to activate it immediately. And we get warped over to the Lara area, which has some insane launches. It has, in theory, it has one big skip. You could skip all of it, but I think it's frame perfect and it's not single segment viable. Remember, this is not a segmented run, this is a single segment run I did yesterday in one go from chapter 2 to chapter 15. So yeah, this is just reversal and stamina management. Kick open the door. I always try to perform a launch here on the wires and to land on the railing to skip the Lara trigger and to cut some corners. Unfortunately I didn't get it, but doesn't matter. So on this lever I don't need the reload glitch, because I actually don't want the two gates to lift up earlier. So perform a carefully flat or straight launch here to fly over both gates. It saves about 15 seconds. It's just so quick, and we traverse to Lara's lair, if you will. So it's just cut the corner, avoid this grabby boy, smash the door. It's also important here to not have any equip, don't have your lantern or a weapon out. Then you get a super clean and super early control over Zap and turn around. Kick open this door. I skip this lever here and launch myself again. I used the wires, and unfortunately I got a bit blocked and burned, but it's still faster than activating the lever, waiting for the fire. So yeah, second try, I got salty. But now I got it. Hop down. Shoot this lever. And here is a freeze bolt breakout again. Place it here. Sebastian gets scared of Laura, but the freeze bolt breaks him out, so I can sprint right away. Another reload glitch on the lever here again, just to get the flames despawned a bit quicker. Saves a few seconds every time I do it. And just play around with Laura, but be careful here if you do this like me, because we don't have the lever checkpoint, because we launched over. So if we meme ourselves, we are all the way back. So I just climb up here. Here I use the harpoon glitch on the pipe. I also recommend this on AKUMU because you just block her and do some extra damage on her overall health. Reload glitch again, and it's meme insurance here. You don't need an upgraded harpoon bolt. You also can do this with level 1, no upgrades harpoon bolt here, and you just keep her out. Try to get over the barrier here, but it's a super bad spot. I got it a few times in practice. Maybe I find a way to make it single segment consistent. So yeah, the next room gets really broken. Or after the oven actually here, just shoot the lever. Get through here. Once the checkpoint is hit, I'm gonna reload it. And this room is busted in general, because if you reload this checkpoint or you die, if you go back here and wait a little bit, you despawn the flames and you despawn Laura. See, the flames are gone, Laura's gone. I have to shoot the bomb because I hop on top of the pipe here. Unfortunately, I had a little bit too much speed here. Second try. Up there, aim walking. Be careful, hop over or fall over the last trigger, so these flames are also gone and I don't have to solve this puzzle. And I'm in the elevator. Bye bye Laura. And this is just a waiting game here. On my way to the final boss. So yeah. If you think to yourself, the fuck is going on? How does he do it? What's going on? Yeah, it's basically speedrun this game since day one or since week 1 of release. It's my favorite game by far. I love this game more than any other horror game. It's just a work of art. It's a one-of-a-kind game. RE4 Remake doesn't come close. This game is my special interest, so yeah. If you suggested it by now, yes, I'm on the spectrum. So anyways, let's proceed. It's just sprinting forward to the door, to the doctor cutscene. Nothing special here. Skip the cutscene, reload the checkpoint to skip Seb falling down cutscene. A few vents coming up, and again we combine the crouch punch with falling in. You can also do a quick fall down here. The quick fall down is a mechanic you might have seen done by other runs or other people. Jigsaw Killer does it a lot, for example, in his runs. It's when you tap sprint, just tap it close to a ledge and Sebastian slips off. Instead of jumping off or hesitating, it's a really cool technique. Again, it's a nice movement technique. This game has so much depth, man. This game is so misunderstood and so underappreciated because it's simply unfinished because of corporate greed. So, anyways, the fight's coming up. So if you wiggle the stick again, hold aim, you break out a bit sooner, punch towards the boss, the Amalgam Alpha. We have to fight in the parking garage. Unfortunately, he trolled me a bit, but yeah, it didn't cost much time. So what I'm gonna do here, or what I did here, I switched to the rocket launcher again because it's maximum damage. But here you can see it's not a silver bullet onto the body. Fortunately, the car didn't fully explode, so the 3 rockets still didn't make him move. But yeah, he just runs in circles, runs around here. So once he does this and he spits the green gel out of his mouth, he's morphing. You have to wait until he finishes the animation. You can't immediately kill him, but the eye is the weak spot. Pick up this explosive ball for free since we have downtime. Also grab the handgun ammo. And chapter 10 is done. Waiting for the elevator. And chapter 11 is also really crazy. But you will see in a moment. Okay, chapter 10 starts with a cutscene skip out of the elevator. Ruvik decides to mess with Sebastian again, so we're back at Crimson City. I love chapter 11, it's just so cool, man. It's also really underappreciated because some people, or most people actually don't like the setting, which I don't get. It's just making your way through this absolute, I don't know, Silent Hill style of a city. City is moving, the walls are moving, the buildings are collapsing. It's just cool, man. I really like it. It's unique also. It's unique. And it looks so good on a 60 FPS. So crouch punch through here, kick this door. To the right. Another door. Just stamina management. This cutscene trigger. I let off the gas a bit sooner, so I get a nice stamina refill. Again, it's all stamina management. Here comes the first launch. I struggle a bit with it, but it's really hard to get a nice, clean, straight up launch. I also got really salty here, but I didn't lose my focus. So yeah, I just got... yeah. A little bit to the right, unfortunately. I want to go straight up. It's free on higher FPS, but I won't unlock FPS, so go 120 FPS for personal reasons. I think I got it the third try. No, you know, I didn't get off. The salt built up there, man. When I rewatch it now. But yeah, it's hard to control. And you also don't want to overshoot it because you don't have a good checkpoint, of course. You're back at the chapter beginning. So yeah. I thought, yeah, runs over there, but I didn't give up, which paid off. To be honest. So I got finally the straight launch. And mash. But still didn't get up, and I was like, man. I can't give up. I won't give up. There finally. It's hard to turn Seb and he has to grab this ledge. But yeah. Mistakes were made, but we don't give up. So yeah, we just skip the maze. We skip even more. See, we skip all the running around. Here's the blue container. Then we get down in the water. And the cool thing here is that the Shigyos, the water monsters, are not loaded when we do this route. And free aim out of the deep water, so we don't have to shoot bodies. We get the splash effect here, but they are not here, they are not attacking us. But we have to get on top of this car. There is a sequence break check for the next area to be loaded. And also here, I believe, on this platform is some file. So yeah, just no need to deal with the body. So we have to do this. We can't just stay all the way out of bounds all the time. So yeah. So this area wouldn't be loaded. And now it gets really crazy. I think I got a second try. So there is a big launch, which also takes a lot of practice. I got a third try, alright. So I line up here. Yeah, I have to wait until the shaking's gone, until this transitions. And you have to have a really clean launch. If you wiggle just a bit, you will see what happens. I bonk at the pole and I completely get the wrong launch or the wrong outcome. So yeah, just reload here. Or not unfortunately, fortunately we have a really good checkpoint here for retrying. That's why this big launch is worth it, because it skips so much. If you fail, you have the nice checkpoint, you can just reload. Here I barely made it. I want to land on top of the unloaded garage. It's all unloaded, or not 2D, but it's unloaded. So there is I have to hit this trigger. I have to make the game think or believe that I do it normally, that I climb up the final ladder in the garage to unpack compressed files in the game. So we'll see it in a moment, because I got it third try. This one was really clean. I thought here, I'm gonna land in the hole, I'm gonna overshoot it, but I just land right. And here is the ladder normally. So the game thinks, okay, he climbed up the ladder. Hop down here. You have to know the invisible walls. See? And here is the gondola trigger, where the game thinks, okay, now I pulled the lever for the gondola. And the next area, the building area with Kidman and stuff, is loaded. But it's all cursed, of course, because there are so many arrangement flaws and offsets, but we can progress. We just have to deal with what we have. So we skip the slow gondola. Here is the past gondola area. I have to be careful here, because there are also files. I have to hit the check, if you will. So I do this backtracking thing. Now I just make my way to Kidman, or save Kidman. So yeah, see the buildings, it's all a bit cursed. But if you know the route, it's not hard. Just it looks way more broken than it is. Down here, small cutscene. And the cool thing is, since it's also yeah, in the state that it is, we can go a layer, more layer down, if you will, here. See a clip out where I fall down and I can sprint, and I skip the swimming here. But I have to hit this checkpoint here. I can't just go straight under the bus. Otherwise, again, I would miss files and I couldn't progress. So yeah, but it's still so much faster than swimming. Fortunately, where the cars are in the water, we can go back up a layer and climb up. This is what I do. Fortunately, Sebastian decided to grab the bottle, so yeah, just pop him in, punch him in. Normally I shoot 2 enemies here, but because of the bottle meme I only got 1, and then my Kidman room strat was a bit messy, but not slow, more funny. See, again, I use a sub-mechanic of the shock bolt. I place it, that it disarms the bear trap, which usually blocks you from climbing through, but the shock bolt just disarms it. Again, every bolt has sub-mechanics. Here I got super trolled. I don't know who is alive, or if I got Burning Man, yeah. But bumped myself into the dialogue cutscene trigger. So yeah, this is really self-explanatory what's going on, even though the walls are completely offset, but most of it has no collision. The game is just busted open, or the chapter is just broken. So yeah, just do the scripted thing. Progress to the factory. Then these 2 stairs. Free aim on the final stairs to refill stamina and have faster movement speed on the stairs. Here on the top of these stairs I perform a zip to skip the first Kidman and Sebastian walk and talk, but it's a bit hard, and yeah, it's still faster than just slowly doing the thing. So second walk and talk.
Have you been having any nosebleeds, headaches?
No. Why?
Joseph was. It's like he was turning into one of those things.
Maybe it doesn't affect everybody.
So yeah, once we open the door, again just holding C because it's a time-based cutscene skip, but we pre-buffer it. This cutscene takes roughly a minute, or even exactly a minute. It's funny how the Kidman battle room music still plays here because we skipped, or I skipped the first walk and talk, so yeah, the music never faded out, you know. The game never transitioned into actual walk and talk thing.
You attacked me. I'm sorry, but you're tainted.
So yeah, you can
You might try to stop me through you.
theoretically skip this, but I still haven't found a consistent way to, I don't know, solid snake into the factory for single segment. You can check it out on my segmented run, where I use the no physics bottle. So I just fool around here until Leslie opens up this door.
Get it open.
He's already here.
Leslie? Leslie, is that you?
And another hold C. So once we gain control over Seb, here there's a checkpoint coming up. I reload it because it places me right in front of the door to enter the factory right away. I want to stress a thing here on New Game Plus, which can absolutely troll you with the fully upgraded harpoon bolt. If you swap to the harpoon bolt, or the fully upgraded harpoon bolt, don't hold aim. If you hold aim, the game thinks it's a match and the factory blows up. So anyways, here on the cardboard, I launch myself over to skip the ladder and some traversal. Pick up the key card. And from here on, it's just, yeah, leaving chapter 10, you know, using the key card, getting up the ladder, spotting Joseph, making your way to the bus. You can also launch over to your partners in a few different ways, but I decided to keep the run alive in a way, to not risk it, I would say, and just sprint to the end of the chapter, because it doesn't cost much time here, because we have the fully upgraded stamina bars. You save about 10 seconds with a nice launch, so again, free aim here, cut the corners clean, full stamina bar at the corner again, sprint straight forward. Make sure to have the Magnum ready, also a new game, for the next fight in the worst chapter ever. Anyways, this was chapter 11. Mistakes were made, but skips were nailed. Still a gold split. And again, chapter 12, the ride. It's the worst chapter in the game. Hold C again. Once you gain control over Seb, shoot him or shoot Heresy in the face with the Magnum to skip some cycles to make it spawn its spawns right away. The Magnum, it goes into spawn mode. Use an explosive bolt because for some reason it goes off immediately. It doesn't do the beep thing. It goes off for the spawn or on its torso immediately, and it just saves time. It's just faster. So yeah, pick up the free supplies because we have time, and they're here. The next part is basically also an auto-scroller, the shootout, so yeah. If you ask yourself why doesn't he kill some enemies faster, it doesn't matter. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. On higher difficulties, just survive. Kill the first few enemies you have to kill. And then take cover at the driver's seat on AKUMU and you're good. I recommend watching Lotmaster's run for AKUMU, no upgrades, no keys. He's the GOAT when it comes to this category. The glitchless, launchless categories, no upgrades. So yeah, just dealing with the enemies, just using the barrels, nothing special here. So see you when I have to fight Heresy again.
coming from above. More of them on the move. Don't get rattled. He's down. Hey.
On top of us! There's too many!
More of them.
Enemy up front!
Leave these ones to me. That was a close one.
Alright, the auto-scroller shootout is done. Time for some fun facts about Heresy. It's actually oldest patient in the stem system, and it's forced to eat its own excrement. And the boss fight was actually planned a bit differently, but of course the game got released early, so it got scrapped.
Keep us to the left of
And you can see it in the second game. The Myra fight is actually what they planned with this fight. It's not a chase, it is actually, they wanted to make it a big Souls-like fight. So anyways, yeah, this time we have to do 2 phases, some damage, explosive bolts. This is just completely scripted. I just fool around with the shotgun. He does the shaking thing here regardless. So yeah, it was actually planned to fight it, or fight him, whatever, in an open area and fight the spawns like this Bloodborne boss or the Myra fight in the second game, you know. You can see it in the art book of the game. I highly recommend checking out the art book. You can also find it on the internet digitally in high resolution. You see a lot of ideas and also concepts that were used in the second game and in the DLCs. It's really, really informative. So yeah. It looks really nice how Heresy moves here on 60 FPS. It screams that they wanted to make more with this enemy type actually. So yeah, just holding C here. Joseph gets shot. Sebastian has to be the hero.
Just get us out of here.
This chapter, man.
There's an ambulance there. There might be some kind of first aid. I'll go.
Here is another PC version quirk coming up, which I can't stress enough. If you don't like motion blur, for some reason the game auto-activates motion blur here every time you play. So yeah, see, it's enabled. I have to disable it here every run because I can't stand motion blur, especially in this, not in this game. It just adds smear. So yeah, just flash these 2 enemies and avoid everything and just make your way to the ambulance truck. Yeah, here, be aware, the game tried to pull an evil within on me again. I mashed because I wanted to get up here on the concrete. You should hold here because then Sebastian decides he wants to dance with the barrel. I decided to go for the cutscene skip here, but yeah, I was out of practice here, so I decided, yeah, let's watch this goofy cutscene. It only takes a few seconds, and on casual difficulty, it's easy to avoid the machine gun anyways. So yeah, just dodge once, hide the bullets. And you don't have to get on top of the machine gun truck. You can just climb over the hood of the school bus here. This also doesn't work on the PS3 version, because the PS3 version is an earlier build of the game. I don't know why they put it in. Probably some changes in Sebastian's character thing. Same as with crouching, it's different in the PS3 version. It has some minor differences. So yeah, this is just an auto-scroller here. Until the chapter end. This achievement here sucks ass, in my opinion, to get the don't hit anyone. But switch to 30 FPS and grind the checkpoint over and over until you remember all the positions of the haunted. See, the physics here, especially on 60 FPS, it's so goofy. The car is like on ice. It's ice skating. Also the names on the street signs and on the signs for the Autobahn have some funny names, Paranoia, etc. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this is chapter 12 done. Chapter 13 is really cool. It's one of my favorite chapters. I also don't get why a lot of people don't like it. I like that they go back to the claustrophobia, go back to the stealth element of the game. It's really, you know, it's a good thing, especially in contrast to chapter 11, where it all is open and wide, and now you're in one building, in one hotel again. It's just a super cool contrast. So the hotel is called Prestige Hotel, by the way. You can read it on a lot of things and signs here. This hotel. So anyways, when disarming this acid traps, hold crouch and sprint, and on this last cycle when it fades out, when the icon fades out, you can sprint right away. It just skips the animation of Seb letting go of the circuit board or whatever you want to call it. Again, these small things matter in this game.
Sticking out of the ground?
Yeah, but look how it's positioned. If we can get over there, we might be able to use it to get across.
Let's just concentrate on getting out of here. No, don't risk it. Hold on. I think I see another way down. I'll meet you on a lower level.
Damn it. First Kidman and now...
Alright, on my way to the Keeper here, I got a super nice animation combination with the quick fall down. Here I almost lost my life, or died to the Keeper. I shot the trap too late. Normally if you shoot this trap at the right time, the Keeper doesn't sprint at you and just drops two traps, but for some reason he tackled at me and he almost kicked me or punched me into the other Keeper trap, and then you get the scripted kill animation. Also, Sebastian was really salty at the two rats here. Yeah, so through the vent here, switching to the explosive bolt. Crouch punch here. And here is a skip coming up. Normally we get the cutscene here and back to the safe haven, but we can also do this without a launch. With a carefully timed crouch punch, hop over here. It's a bit cursed. Climb inside here. bomb yourself back in bounds. This is why this is not AKUMU viable. At least not yet. Maybe I find a way to get back in bounds somewhere. I looked into it, but no success so far. So yeah, just again, a crouch punch into the vent. It's always the same. It's a really easy technique. See, if you do weapon swap and wiggling at the right time, he doesn't do the slow fall down. You burst out, or you get out of the vent quickly. So yeah, the kitchen is pretty cursed. Sometimes you get the black kitchen here. I am not sure what causes it on the jump down before bombing yourself back in bounds. There's some camera position, some assets, but it doesn't matter. You can just reload the checkpoint. Because see, now I have a black screen, I notice it immediately. Reload the autosave. And we are in Cursed Kitchen, so yeah, you just have to do this by memory in terms of collision and stuff, because the assets and the environment is not loaded, so yeah, just be a bit careful here. Place a shock bolt, messed up the bolt swap. You just deal with the Roombas. So how this kitchen actually works, if you don't do any skip, there is this normal kitchen and then Ruvik does his warp. And the kitchen with all the fire and stuff, the deadly kitchen or hell's kitchen, is actually stored out of bounds. So the game throws the first kitchen, the normal kitchen, actually just in the bin or out of bounds, and just draws in the other kitchen. It's pretty weird in terms how the engine handles things. So yeah, just one-shot the keeper, wait for the elevator, and chapter 13 is basically done.
God damn it. Fuck. I'd better find Kidman. Joseph, you've got to be alive.
Alright, time for chapter 14. This is also really straightforward, but has some cool strategies and skips, or one skip, whatever, you will see. So yeah, this is just make your way down to the subway train. I tried to go for a zip down there just for fun, but I didn't get it. So yeah, on casual difficulty you're completely safe here. Just open the shutter here and hold crouch, it's enough for the bomb to let you through. Also works on AKUMU. So yeah, just switch to the freeze bolt here, because later I can get casualed, because if the haunted decides not to come out, it's busted. So I just jump over here to progress, jump again, avoid these guys, shoot the bear trap, and toss a freeze bolt over to his explosive bolt, freeze them so they don't go off, and he is frozen also. And I don't get blocked, I don't get memed. And here I do a small skip, just launch myself on top of the train here, harpoon bolt at the web to not have to use the match and just save time, burn it as early as possible. With the fully upgraded harpoon bolt, Sebastian decided not to hop or step on the pipe for whatever reason. Sometimes happens even if you hold. This is just straightforward, crouch punch, activate the lever. You can't shoot this lever because this is not a combat lever, this is a progression lever. It's just the same texture and actor, but they don't react to bullets. And you can also only pull them once. I decided to try to pre-bolt this guy to maybe get the small blockage out of my way, but it's not worth it. So yeah, just here again with free aim, just through the deep water. Unfortunately, I messed up my no physics bottle strat over the valve. So yeah, it's a bit janky here after I pick up the fuse box. So I take this no physics bottle, place it in front of the small valve, do the reload glitch on the valve. If you do this on the valve, you have to mash the reload glitch. So if you place the no physics bottle right, you can walk over it, you can mess around with it, it's pretty fun. But yeah, completely messed this up out of practice. Not a big deal. So yeah, just free aim, up the ladder. It's just normal progression here. This game, or this chapter in the game, I want to say has a weird pace. So I just use the harpoon bolt again. It's just faster than using the match. Burn the web, put away a weapon, lantern out. Through the gap again. And I try to perform the skip here just for fun. It's possible that you land on top of the generator and skip getting the fuse, but it's really precise and super hard. I think it's almost pixel perfect. This room is actually harder on casual than on AKUMU, by the way, because you don't have the double dramas, but you have way too many alter egos that insta-kill you. So that's why I placed the flame bolt here, because he can also use the plaga and kill you in the semi-cutscene where you don't have control over Seb on casual. It's fucking great to lose around there. Use a shock bolt, reload glitch on the valve to insta-turn it. Get them all nicely electrocuted. Get down there. You can reload this checkpoint if you want to refill your stamina, but yeah, just roll with it. Use the flash bolt to make Quell disappear, to skip the scripted event or cutscene where he grabs you. Also works with a handgun bullet. On every difficulty he has 1 HP there. On AKUMU no upgrades, no keys, doesn't matter. So yeah, just insert the fuse, turn the generator, use the fully upgraded Magnum on Quell, get it back in the elevator. Nothing special here. Just nothing out of the ordinary. I switched to the freeze bolt because I need it for breakout. Crouch here to get off the elevator a bit cleaner and smoother. Yeah, you have a slowdown there, so it doesn't save much, maybe half a second. So just progress, train. So yeah, this is another walk and talk segment, so crouch punching is your friend here. Place the freeze bolt here on the blue texture. Unfortunately, I was, I don't know, 3 frames too early and it hit Sebastian before the scared animation happened, so yeah. Overlap, but from the wrong side, I guess. And there he decided to not snap on. I don't know, maybe my controller is dying again. My controllers always die within half a year because the Xbox controllers are dog shit, and yeah, speedrunning this game grinds them down. And here is the second tub room coming up. Again, just a cutscene and a a shock bolt. That's all it is. And then we're at the final chapter.
You published my research in your name again. Did you think I wouldn't find out?
And I have done you a favor. You have no credentials. You'd never appear in a reputable journal otherwise. Nobody in the world knows you even exist.
Oh, but they will know. I have surpassed you in every way you can imagine. No matter. I have what I need. All that's left is the procedure.
Indeed. That is why we are here.
We? You wouldn't dare. You couldn't complete it without me.
Precisely.
Trying to make me feel sorry for you?
Okay, final chapter. I was really getting nervous there. So, chapter 15 just starts with a cutscene skip, just hold B. Just craft freeze bolts here because I still need one for a breakout, and I just want to have a few for safety if I screw something up, or maybe later for the snipers or something. So yeah, this is just, again, walk and talk, crouch punching. Just optimally to the door. Open the second door. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
Nobody here at all?
And here just another freeze bolt breakout out of a scared animation. Saves about 2 seconds, 3 seconds here. And only worth it on New Game Plus because you don't want expensive freeze bolt to waste on something like this on a new game run, especially on a high difficulty when a freeze bolt costs 5 parts. So yeah, this is just make your way to the gauntlet fight. We have one cutscene skip, interaction skip before the gauntlet fight. So this is just classic Mikami style. Back where it all started, you know, think about the first Devil May Cry game. It's so similar to the first Devil May Cry game, especially if you have post-processing on PC, or if you're on console, you see all the effects, the blue effects on the screen, and before the gauntlet fight. It's really, really almost a reference to the first Devil May Cry game, in my opinion.
This way. It's going to come down. This way. Sebastian! Leslie! beacon, just like Joseph said. I knew it.
Sedative they used on me must have been my own. I was aware of every slice, every severed nerve.
Leslie.
Alright, we are almost at the gauntlet. Just there is cutscene coming up, we just skip. And we skip opening the both slow doors and talking to the journalist NPC again. So I just launch myself on top of this layer here. Like, see, I'm on top of the ceiling. I climb over here and I don't have to wait for anything and trigger it. I just bump myself back in bounds. Unfortunately, I ran too much forward. I don't know why I did this. I messed something up in my brain of my position. It was like, hey, wait, his room is there. So yeah, we get straight to the gauntlet. And yeah, the final sip, the final launch in the game. I have a bit of a safe approach here, or a more, I don't know, less airtime approach. And it looks really cool. I like how it looks. It's like comparable to Metal Gear in a way. So I just go up in this corner here. See how I hold A, I zip straight up and I grab the ledge here and I hold aim so Sebastian doesn't slip down left or right or out of bounds. I just control zap, forward, hold A again until he snaps on again, hold aim so he doesn't fall down. I'm past the door, kick one half of the door, I'm through, and I can deal with the snipers. I still have to find a decent enough strat here to kill them all really fast on New Game Plus. I just experimented with explosive bolts, but unfortunately I didn't get both here, so the dynamite guy decides to stay alive. Now I have to wait for the spikes a bit. And now all my wasting of my magnum bullets during the run, especially on the Lauras, bites me in the butt, but don't worry, nothing big happened, just cost some time. Because I only have 2 left and each keeper of the double keeper, also nice bullets missed, takes 2 magnum rounds because these keepers are tankier than any other keeper. So what I use is the backpack of the keeper. It's also a weak spot. It stuns him, and use the second magnum shot on this keeper. Quick swap the keepers. I get hit once, but yeah, he's almost down. See? And position myself in front of the door, so yeah, it cost me like 5 seconds in total. And we can progress again. So yeah, just forward here. Rubik's God Complex. You can cancel out his final sentence and just transition to the Metal Gear part again sooner, because it's just a dialogue cancel again. For some reason Sebastian decided not to draw his gun here. I was confused what was going on. See, he puts it away and then it's like... I was like, can I please shoot game? The game just sometimes does things like this. So anyways, just straight through here, push the wheelchair, avoid the light, shoot this eye, manage your stamina, switch to the flash bolt, refill your stamina, cut the corner, flash all 3 eyes, shoot the keeper traps, and we go to the final blade, the saw part. So here you can take a slightly faster path, no, slightly more straight path. I hug here this flash on the side, but you have to tilt Sebastian a bit here that he doesn't slip down into the blood and get, you know, sandwiched again. And yeah, we are finally at the main operating room, or on our way to the main operating room of STEM. Last elevator. This is where you don't need weapons anymore, so if you see runners emptying all their weapons there, this is just a reason, because you don't need them anymore. You can just, you know, shoot the walls, let it all out. It's pretty fun. But don't open the weapon wheel here, because on upwards elevators, Sebastian then falls through the floor and runs over. Just keep in mind, on upwards elevators, if you open the weapon wheel, don't have it open for long, because he just slips through. You can try it for yourself, it just works. Just one of the quirks of the game. Once we're here, we go to the right, where Sebastian sees himself in the tub. And this is just a waiting game. From here on, you have 2 cutscene skips until you're at the final boss, then you have more cutscene skips, but just hold C here to pre-buffer the timed ones again. This was the first one with Leslie. Now it all collapses. Devil May Cry 1. Second cutscene skip, just hold C here on PC all the time. And yeah, we finished the game. Yeah, awesome, over the top, action packed, also classic Shinji Mikami way. Just holding C here all the time. Here is a small optimization I found years ago, basically in the first few weeks. If you take this path, you skip 1 stagger, go to the right immediately here, you dodge this claw. If you stay right, you skip the stagger of this bus here. Sebastian just keeps his speed. Also hold sprint here all the time. Sebastian moves a bit faster. And then yeah, just stay on the left here. Move towards this building, this broken house here. This office building, whatever it is. And this, yeah, it's just... It's very forgiving not to die here. Just left, right, and then the most what the hell part ever. Why does the machine gun truck come back? Yeah, it's just... It's so silly that it doesn't have to make sense, I guess. So yeah, just shoot for the class. I'm using the mouse there, by the way. You can skip the claw. Of course, you can just shoot at the bolt. I just took it safe here to not lose the run, because yeah, it's just 1 shot left. And now we truly finish it in the classic RE style, Mikami way. This is just nasty, by the way. But yeah. We also have the Ada moment here. Wink wink. See, the sadist returns. It comes back to where it all started. The sadist gives us his rocket launcher. Sadist is Ada. And yeah. I said it a few times already, you get it. So it's possible to get a headshot here if you do the setup like mine. Unfortunately I missed by pixels, but on casual it doesn't matter. Just spam on casual. Once you get the red dot here, the brain shot, on casual, he's finished. All you have to do then is the final pistol shot. And Rubik's done. Hold C. Skip the cutscene. Stem is collapsing. We are now waking up in the room, or like one floor down where Sebastian spots himself. This is the Sebastian spots. You know what I mean? And yeah, all he has to do is clean stem of subject number 1, which is Ruben Victoriano himself, which he loves to tell you.
I created this world. You cannot keep me here. Ruvik. I'm going to finish this.
Okay, the run is done. We end the timer as soon as we enter this last input. The black bars come up. Just old school, real-time SDA fashion, because then it's just this Kidman cutscene where Sebastian really wakes up. And yeah. Also on PC then for the last cutscenes, just hold C. As you can see on my splits, the in-game timer is still running here. The in-game timer actually really stops once you skip the final cutscene, once the game's really over. But yeah, that's just... We decided on... Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Since we ignore the in-game timer, mostly... Just ignore this too. See, I'm just holding C, now the in-game timer stops. And now you see that my in-game time is lower than my LRT time, because every time I reload the autosave, the in-game timer just rewinds. So yeah, save the in-game time to 6:43. Was a cool run. I think I'm done with this category. If you enjoyed this run, this commentary, please leave a like, please leave a comment. If you have questions about the game, please ask. Thanks for watching.